This video was sponsored by Enhance, NeoWatt, A Better Road Planner, Elbilmek, Kempower and Bilkomponenter. Yo, what's up? Great news! Breaking news! Tesla has approved FSD in Netherlands, the first country in Europe to have FSD. And then I also heard in the news that that means that it's under the same law that also applies to Norway. So now it's just going to be like a big whoosh opening, and then more countries in Europe will follow. So that was great that we can finally use FSD here and that it will be officially approved. But then, but actually, several days before that happened, I heard about this news now, last night or something. I got an email from Tesla, and it was like, your vehicle has detected an unauthorized third-party device. And you know that I don't own a Tesla in my account. These are just a bunch of Teslas enjoying the free supercharging in my account, right? I was thinking, vehicle detected unauthorized, blah, blah. As a precaution, some driver assistance function has been disabled for safety reasons. Well, okay, well, they are not lying at least. They probably had lots of lawyers writing all this text here. Software update will be available soon once installed. Some feature will be enabled again. Well, you know what this means. You heard it in the news, right? Someone, if someone is using some like they call it like the hack or whatever, the jailbreaking device, plugs it into the CAN bus and then tricks the geofencing or whatever, right? Not sure what else is doing. So you can enable FSD in a country that doesn't have it. Because initially I thought, oh, this is just some kind of dongle they use, maybe like the dash cam viewer or whatever they call it, right? No, it's not. It's not. But I was also a little bit annoyed that many times when I get an email that the car has been added or removed or something, there will always be a VIN, so I know which car this applies to. But there's also a few cases where whenever I give some people access to the app, right, app access, the guys who are in my account, it just says your car. It doesn't tell me exactly which car it is. So Tesla should fix that so that every time there's an email, we know exactly what kind of car we're talking about. Otherwise, if you have many cars in your account, you will be confused like me, right? But yeah, so I haven't I have email on these guys who are in my account. So I haven't sent a BCC one email. If I send multiple emails, they will end up in a spam mail. The Gmail detects it as spam. But I haven't done like an email to all my guys in account yet. So I can just ask you guys here, and then which one of you mother truckers install this hack device here? You know, they usually cost around 500 euros. First I thought, oh, I heard about it. It was a friend of mine who was gonna do this on his car. So it's him. But I say, wait, he's not on my account. It's not him. Could be someone else. But also, I hope that this doesn't cause me any trouble, because you know that car is in my account, and then Tesla, yeah, hopefully Tesla knows that I don't own this car. It's just in my account consuming the free supercharging. So yeah, I hope that I don't get any problems with Tesla now. But yeah, all right, okay, you can email me if you are the one, you know who you are, right? You are the one with the device. I think what this means is that whoever did this, Tesla disabled FSD on his car, his or her car, right? And then I don't know how severe it is, how strict Tesla is, but they could block FSD permanently, even though you paid for it. It's like you broke the terms of agreement or something, right? So they have Tesla, they have the lawyers on their side that they can just do this shit. Because you kind of did something illegal in their eyes, right? And then, but I heard that some countries, they are really strict about this. It was China or South Korea, North Korea. Wait, do they have electricity in North Korea? They have nukes there, right? Okay, but some countries are really strict. It would actually be criminal offense if you jailbreak your car and runs FSD or something. I don't know. So, so yeah, well, would be interesting to hear from that person what happened to his Tesla and if FSD is broken or not. So yeah, it's interesting, but it's also kind of like you're playing with fire, since you're running FSD and you know that the car is online and Tesla can actually see a lot. I actually recently did a test on this car I'm sitting in right now, a like a remote degradation test, but it was not like a flash test where you just plug in something. No, everything went OTA. So the guys who made these tests, you know, it's like serious company, right? Behind it, some guy I know from before. They actually needed access. I needed to log into my Tesla account, and then they requested me to open up access for this car to my Tesla account, also to see some information, not all of it. They can't remote unlock the car or remote start it, but they wanted to see the diagnostics data. But I also needed to, they requested also to give them access to the Tesla toolbox. I didn't even know this shit existed until, you know, and the toolbox is highly advanced shit from Tesla. It's Tesla alien technology, because they can then remote diagnose the car, and it can show you deep information. I think it would be something like, basically you plug in whatever you plug into the OBD port to diagnose the car. That's basically what it sends over the air via Tesla server, and then whoever has access to this can actually get quite deep information about what's going on with the car. So since I know all this stuff now, kind of, you know, at least know the top of the iceberg, I understand how Tesla can quite easily figure out who's fooling with them, you know, who's jailbreaking the Teslas, right? So, and then for the record, when I had that Tesla, when I had a Cybertruck here, it was not my car, obviously. But I was also not driving when they did the FSD. I was just had the camera there and then observed what happened. And I can't understand why Tesla don't want people to jailbreak them, because they could be losing money, or they could jeopardize Tesla's reputation. Because just like that Cybertruck, he couldn't figure out how to make it work with version 14, so it was running version 13, which was not that great. And then we saw that it was not following like yielding rules in Norway, and it was doing some weird things, right? So it will actually hurt Tesla's reputation if there was an accident, for example, and then some dude who jailbreak the car used old version, or not like optimized software that Tesla has kind of marked safe for Norway, for example, right? With the rules we have in Norway, for example. But then, okay, who cares if there was a guy with a jailbreak software and it was not official? The media doesn't care. People doesn't care. What they care about is that a Tesla crashed with full self-driving. See, we told you that it was dangerous, right? So I actually understand why Tesla wants to be strict at this. They want stable software. I mean, it's not like when I test some software in a Chinese car and there's spelling error or some weird glitches here and there and annoying beeps, you know. This is FSD's full self-driving. Okay, it's supervised, but Tesla just want to be super strict that everything works safer than a typical Norwegian Nissan driving it, right? So that's why they don't want people to jailbreak them. And they want to be strict, and they want to whoop your ass if you are being a bad boy. So, okay. Anyway, that's my comment about what's happened here. And then we'll see if the guy contacts me or not. And hopefully Tesla can fix some of these messages, these emails I get, and include the VIN at least. Yeah. So I know which car this applies to, right? Just nitpicking, but yeah, hopefully Tesla is watching my video and they'll get some ideas about how they can improve the system over the years. Okay, anyway, okay. But anyway, I think that's going to be for now. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, thank you for watching, and talk to you later.